You count. You're the boss.
No, it just counted, and now we're recording.
Oh, well, wait, hey! It was
Hi
all a
everyone.
silent count. Fine.
Hi everyone. Welcome to the Golden Ratio podcast. I am Jen, GR Mom, joined over distance by GR Dad.
They're technical difficulties, not Ingo difficulties.
No, those were full on Ingo difficulties. The system
Oh,
worked as intended.
system is stupid. All right. Hi. I'm happy
Hi.
to be here, but I wish you were here with me.
I wish I were there too because I'm in Maryland and you're in Florida, and Florida is nice.
That's right. As far as you know, and as far as you know from the Where's My Ingo app.
I mean, you're definitely in Florida according to the Where's My Ingo app.
I haven't found that on the Apple Store yet. Thank God.
Well, I have technical prowess,
Fair
so.
enough. Fair enough.
The cocktail of the week this week, sent in by a friend of the squad, is the Yellow Hammer. It's a good name, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
It has rum, vodka, amaretto, orange juice, pineapple juice, and maraschino cherries.
Ooh.
Delish.
Those are all good things.
I know. I'm going to make one for us when I get home.
The Yellowhammer. Any insight on the name? That's good.
Yes.
Good name and a good cocktail.
The Yellowhammer, December 5th is a pretty joyous day. Not only is it Repeal Day, a day set aside to celebrate the end of Prohibition, but it's also SEC Championship Day, which is probably equally as important as ratifying the 21st Amendment.
It is
says
not.
Alabama.com.
It is
To
not
celebrate
Alabama.
both of these holidays, we decided to make one of Tuscaloosa's signature cocktails, the Yellow Hammer, served at Galette's, a popular watering hole.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
Well, it's still a cool name.
Yep. So there you go.
Sounds like a great drink. Very
Yeah, that drink's gonna be delish.
mix of tiki and other flavors. Sounds
Yep.
good.
Yep.
I'm in. It's a date.
Great. Oh, at some point, we will be together again.
Eesh. You know, we're together in spirit, in heart.
Then that's kind of the only way for quite a while.
Hearts are together.
Oh,
We did wave at each other at the airport on, what was that, Wednesday? Tuesday?
you guys, it was so funny. Like, Ingo took the morning flight from DC to Key West, and I was gonna did indeed get back on that plane, but like you were late enough getting in that I had to go through security before you could exit the airport.
Right.
So I stood in like the little gift shop / snack shop and looked out onto the tarmac, because in Key West you just walk off the plane onto the tarmac and walk in. And the reason we couldn't see each other at the gate is because when you get off the plane, you just go into arrivals, which is a different building than departures.
It's
So it's
security.
yeah, so you're not in, like, once you get off the plane, you are no longer in security zone. So you couldn't, like, switch from one plane to another in Key West because you have to go outside and back through security.
I mean, you could do it on the tarmac, but people would pay attention. There are sheriff's deputies out there.
The cops would not allow that to happen.
Nah.
So anyway, Ingo walked off the plane and, like, we waved at each other through the glass.
Yeah, this only works where I was on the runway, because if this were any other airport, I'd be in, like, a jetway.
You just come off the jetway and I'd be standing there because it's a plane I'd be getting on, and then I'd be able to give you a hug.
Oh, that would, because you're all in security zone until I leave it, but I leave it pretty much as soon as I leave the plane. Yeah.
But I did bring nacho fries and had them waiting for you in the car.
Yes, it was not nearly as good as meeting you, but pretty good nacho fries.
Delish. I don't have anything for Administrative Corner this week. Do you have anything?
I love Administrative Corner, and I gotta say my definition of it is a little bit fuzzy. So I would say I have received a Hopper plushie, and I hope others have too.
Many people have.
I know that's administrative. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. They're super cute. That thing is adorable.
Yep.
I suspect it may meet an untimely end. I'm looking at you, Remy, at some point. But right now, that thing is adorable. Adorable.
Well, we're working on the design for the Vink plushie. Version 3 just dropped tonight, and it looks pretty good, so it's close to final. So you may be able to pre-order your Vink plushies pretty soon.
Does it come with different outfits like G.I. Joe or Barbie? Like airplane pilot Vink, or, shark tamer Vink, or great novelist Venk.
I would like to grant blanket permission to the crafty and creative friends of the squad to open Etsy shops that sell accoutrements for the little stuffies.
Like
So
a
you
little
could,
knit World War One ace helmet
yeah,
for flying ace Venk.
little outfits, little accessories.
I mean, Venk has so many different roles. This is just like American Girl doll potential
Yeah, that's right.
without the racism. It's good.
Well, that's a good one. They're coming.
I mean, I'll probably get 7 or 8 of those because it's Venk.
Vang, he loves you most,
He's my
Vang.
baby. I'm gonna pose her in all different outfits. Mostly kidding. I'm mostly kidding. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's get to dog updates then.
Okay.
I'm in Maryland with cheddar cheese, so it's kind of nice to not be here dogless.
Yes.
Cheddar is going, Ingo drove him up. He's going to his new foster home. He was supposed to go today, but they had something come up, so I get to keep him until tomorrow. So tomorrow evening, he's going to go to his new foster home. But there's a bunch of people who are starting to express interest. So he's either going to stay with them if they fall in love with him, or there's definitely people who will want him.
He should have the best situation he deserves. He's a good boy.
Yeah, I feel a little sad because he's like slightly discombobulated. Like he's been here, but he definitely was more comfortable in Florida.
There's more corners in that house.
So many more corners in this house.
Yeah.
And he slept in the bed with me. He's way easier as like an only dog.
Oh.
And he's did a great job sleeping in the bed with me last night. And then we were trying to come downstairs and he doesn't understand these stairs yet. So he got like his first 2 paws and then he just leapt into the void. Like yeeted himself down the stairs.
Unbelievable.
I caught him though, and I was like, no, 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 no. And then I had to like walk backwards down the stairs, holding him by his neck because he kept trying to just leap to the bottom.
I think he's an impatient man. He did while I was there, before you were there with him. I was there with him, and I was in the basement, just around the corner, and I'd left the upstairs door open so he wouldn't feel alone, and I like pulled the erg from the wall pretty much. And heard this commotion, turned around, and he's at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, honey.
half in the bookshelf. He must have done the same thing, which is like 1, 2. I'm fine. Whee!
That's dangerous.
He seemed fine. Maybe his pride was hurt a little bit, but he seemed otherwise quite fine.
Yeah.
But I felt bad. I was like, man, nope, that door stays closed from now on, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we're having a nice time, so.
He's a good boy. He just wants to be close to you.
Yeah, well, he has been. He's been snugged up with me all day.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Give him love.
Oh, I am. So that's the Cheddar update. You want to do the Hopper leg update?
Yeah, Hopper's leg. What was it? Yesterday, I was giving Hopper a bath, shower, shampooing after swimming. And noticed that she had a big lump on her elbow. How many? Which elbow? The only elbow.
The only elbow.
And I was like, oh no, what? It's like a big squishy lump, and it just felt. I was like, we've seen this movie before. This is some kind of infection or something. It's on the leg that had this before too, and so I was like, oh no. So I called the vet, and they didn't have anything till tonight. So I made an appointment, and then about 3 hours later, you and I talked, and I looked at Hops again. She's like gnawing on it because it's so swollen. I was like, I'm bringing her in tonight. Luckily, we now have an emergency vet in Key West or in the lower Keys. So, they were open. I brought her in at, I don't know, 10, 11, 10, 10. And then, and it does look like, they took some blood and pus that was coming out of there. They took a sample of what was coming out of there. And we should know today what the kind of germies are that are floating around in there. But it looks like an abscess, like an infection. And so she's on antibiotics, and they lanced it, and it's wrapped, and it's got like an antibiotic salve on it. So we're trying to knock it back internally and externally. Of course, the problem is now she can't swim, and she is not happy.
No.
She will tell you she's not happy. She was complaining to me today, where Guac, like, went down the ramp with his ball, and Hops was just like, whoa, 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 let me in there. I was like, no, no, no. And Hops knew, but she was not happy about it.
Yep.
But
Yep.
pretty well wrapped, and now she's got a sleeve on, one of those leg sleeves that will keep her from chomping on it and also keeps the bandage from slipping around too much.
Yeah. And she's going back to the vet tonight to get it re-looked at and re-drained and everything. Retreated.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So we will see if we're going to be flushing it or whatever. But
Yeah.
poor Hops just can't seem to keep her, her elbow pretty much infection free.
This elbow, before she developed the cancer on the other side, we were here for the summer. It wasn't this past summer, it was the one before. And we arrived in the RV, and like the next day she couldn't walk. And we thought she maybe banged it in the RV. And she ended up spending like a couple days in the ER and having to go every day because she had an abscess in that elbow. And it actually exploded when we were here. Like she was laying on the floor.
Ugh.
I'd taken her to the emergency vet, and they were like, well, we don't really, I don't know. And then I brought her home, and because her leg was all swollen. The whole leg was swollen.
Yeah, content warning, this gets even grosser.
Yeah.
Don't eat,
but
not for lunch. Don't eat lunch.
Never listen to this podcast at lunch. So she didn't have a lump, but her whole leg was swollen. And they're like, I don't know. Like, and so
it was painful. It was painfully swollen.
Oh yeah, I mean she was limping.
Yeah.
So we brought her home, and she was laying on the ground, laying on the floor, and it's like midnight. And then I look over, and then you just see like her leg explode, and it made a popping sound, and she was like made a little yelp, and then there was like gunk everywhere. And
sounds like a horror movie, like not a good one, but a horror movie.
But she spent a few nights in the ER with like IV antibiotics, IV pain medicine.
Yeah.
And they had it all wrapped, and I had to bring her in for bandage changes like over and over again. And that was this same elbow, so who knows if this is related or not, but it is not her first
it was
problem.
a weird thing where she had this was getting better, and then she got a lump on her other leg, her other elbow, that turned out to be the cancer. It's like Hops, man.
Yeah.
Your elbows.
Yeah.
Do you like invite germs into them? Stop it.
Look, Hops, you can lose one, but you cannot lose two.
No, she also can't limp now, like a three-legged stool. She cannot wobble or limp.
Poor Hops.
Yeah.
So that's a Hopper update.
She's keeping things interesting. Maybe she was bored.
Maybe.
No.
The only other kind of minimal dog update is that Remy has started on Prozac. So he's been on it, fluoxetine, for like a week now, probably.
Yeah, maybe a little longer. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems to be mellowing him a little bit, making him less anxious.
I mean, it's less barking, less sort of, and the barking was just anxiety, right? When others were playing or when he couldn't get off the porch, to swim or something. A lot of it was anxiety from that. So he has been better. He's not perfect. He still barks. But he's perfect. I just mean he's still kind of loud sometimes.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem, any other negative effects.
No, not at all.
He's a
and I would say like you left with Cheddar on what, Sunday?
Monday morning.
Monday. Yeah. And the household was definitely calmer. Now that could be that you left. Could be because Cheddar left. Could be just I'm extremely awesome.
Ouch.
Just saying.
Oh,
it was calmer.
I almost never bark.
All right. Anything else for dog updates before we move on?
Looking around. Nope. Everyone else is as they are, as they were, as they are.
All right. I have 2 items in ramblings.
Excellent.
Number 1, judge accepts insanity plea deal for Florida man in face biting case.
Wait, this is Remy. This is Taste of the Keys.
No, this is Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, okay. Well, it's pretty good, pretty topical. Face biting case. Oh,
yep. A judge accepted a plea deal Monday for a man who randomly killed a Florida couple in their garage 6 years ago and then chewed on one victim's face.
Oh, that victim did not ask for it.
He pled not guilty by reason of insanity, and the judge accepted his plea, and so now he is being sent to a mental hospital for treatment.
And to keep him away from people's faces.
Yeah.
But we put muzzles on dogs if they bite people's faces, so maybe he should be kept away from society also, because that's a bad tendency.
He is in a secure mental facility now.
Yes,
so.
I'm happy with this. There are movies about this, and they don't usually end well.
The trial had been delayed by the pandemic, legal wrangling, and the dude's recovery from critical injuries suffered while drinking a chemical during the attack.
Ugh.
He claimed he was fleeing a demon when the attack happened.
I mean, I would like to hear the whole story about the demon, but be chewing anyone's face. Oh my God,
yeah, that's true.
A movie about this, or isn't there? It probably was already.
Who knows?
Demonic possession makes good movies.
Yeah, there's plenty of those. All right, so that's that update. The other one is a woman sues Kraft claiming Velveeta macaroni preparation time is misleading. Did you see this story?
No.
Okay, so this is widely reported. The one I'm reading from here is from NPR. So a Florida woman is accusing Kraft Heinz of misleading advertising based on the time it takes to prepare a single cup of microwavable mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese, the cheese powder stuff.
Yeah, but they got the cup version where you peel the little top off and put some water in and then microwave it.
Oh, well, wow. Yeah.
Instead of the whole box that you cook on the stove. This is microwave cup.
One serving.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. While the company markets its Velveeta shells and cheese as being, quote, ready in 3.5 minutes, Amanda Ramirez says that's only the amount of time each cup needs to be microwaved, and that the actual preparation process, from sitting in water to let the cheese sauce thicken, takes longer, though her lawsuit did not specify how much longer. So she filed a 15-page class action lawsuit against Kraft, saying that it says it's ready in 3.5 minutes, but 3.5 minutes is how long you have to cook it for. And obviously it takes longer than that because you have to put the stuff in and stir it up and then let it sit there to and cool and thicken up. So it's misleading.
Man, I'm having all sorts of complicated reactions here. It's the first time I've heard the story.
Yeah.
And this one sounds goofy, right? I don't think she's actually protecting anyone from anything. And this is not a terrible lie by Kraft if this is true. If it's not actually ready, it wasn't ready in 3.5 minutes. It wasn't quite ready.
She said she would not have bought it had she known the truth.
Shame on the lawyer that took this on too, because the lawyers always make the most and the only money in class action lawsuits if they settle. I hope this goes away, but in general, we live in a country where you can only regulate by lawsuits. Right? If Kraft put broken glass in their mac and cheese, no government agency would catch that.
I'm not sure that's true.
Well, if we're real small pieces. And Kraft might get away with it, too, if it weren't for those meddling lawsuits. And you get a class action sometimes to get a company to change its behavior. It's a horribly inefficient system, but in a lot of cases, it's all we got. There are many, especially sort of food issues that fall between the cracks of the regulatory agencies. The additives in food aren't really regulated directly. They're indirectly, because they're not food, they're not chemicals, they're not drugs.
Listen, Ingo, they said that while the microwaving takes 3.5 minutes, that does not include the other steps that are to remove the lid and the cheese pouch, to fill with water to the line, and then after microwaving to stir in the cheese. Those are not included in the 3.5 minutes.
I understand. There's a famous lawsuit that you read in law school about product safety and unreasonably dangerous products, where someone sued a knife manufacturer because they cut themselves, and the judge's opinion basically said you don't have to label a knife to say that it's sharp. You don't have to say this knife is sharp, right?
Yeah.
And some things you just don't have to label. Come on. You have to open a package to eat the stuff. Come on.
This lady says that, or this lawsuit says that the lady fully intends to purchase the same product again, quote, when she can do so with the assurance its representations are constituent with its abilities, attributes, and or composition.
This is embarrassing, right? Whoever brought this as a lawyer should look inside their soul and see that they're wasting their life.
Well, she wants $5 million, so.
I hope she gets nothing. I hope her lawyers get nothing but abuse. But still, this kind of lawsuit, there are lawsuits like this that are necessary, and that I'm glad there are lawyers who bring them. But this doesn't seem to be one of them at all.
Speaking of the lawyers,
yeah.
A member of the legal team is Spencer Sheehan, a New York-based plaintiff attorney who in recent years has filed hundreds of lawsuits alleging marketing claims in food advertising and packaging. As NPR has reported, Sheehan files at a rate of about 3 lawsuits per week. And, quote, his... Ooh, look at this big word here. Prolificacy.
Oh, that's not a word. That's cool.
I would have said prolificness. No. Prolificacy. His prolificacy has almost single-handedly caused a historic spike in the number of class action lawsuits against food and beverage companies, up more than 1,000% since 2008.
I mean, first of all, you have to actually evaluate whether it's going to be a class action, right? Just because you file it as one doesn't mean it will be one.
He has filed over 100 lawsuits alleging that various products from soda to soy milk market vanilla products that actually use synthetic vanilla or other flavors, either in addition to or instead of the more expensive vanilla bean.
No, this is garbage. Like, I'm okay with lawsuits if someone's going to get hurt, right? Or if you're actually getting ripped off money-wise or something. But this is like, it doesn't have actual vanilla in it, so you can't call it vanilla. You should call it
That's
vanilla.
What he says.
For Pete's sake, you don't need a lawsuit for that, guys.
He also sued Frito-Lay for not using enough real lime juice in its hint of lime Tostitos chips.
It's a hint.
And alleging that Kellogg misrepresents the amount of fruit in its strawberry Pop-Tarts.
Oh my God. How much is a hint? Delete.
Well, I can give you a link.
Hint in there. He's like, I would like more of a hint. I would like a stronger hint. It says a hint of lime.
It says, the allegation, this is from the truthinadvertising.com, which may be his website. The allegation, misleading marketing that lime is a flavoring ingredient in the chips when the ingredients list reveals the chips do not contain any limes and the flavor comes from unspecified natural flavors.
No, they just contain hints. It doesn't say lime. It's just the hints.
Oh, here's a class action against Ruffles Cheddar and Sour Cream potato chips, which are, as you know, one of my favorites.
It doesn't actually have sour cream, or it's actually light sour cream, and they should say that.
A class action lawsuit was filed against Frito-Lay for allegedly failing to properly label Ruffles Cheddar and Sour Cream potato chips as artificially flavored on the front of the bags in violation of California state law. Plaintiffs also claim the company hides the artificial butter and cheddar cheese flavors in the chips by including unspecified artificial flavors in the ingredients list.
Mm.
So it does say artificial flavors in the ingredients list, but it's not on the front.
Come on.
That's what
look, this is one of those things, technically, there may be legal merit to this, right? The California law could be very strict. But again, we have bigger problems. Start with the important stuff. Not the lucrative stuff, I guess.
Here is a list of things that he has sued. I'm assuming this is his website. Baked and regular Ruffles Cheddar and Sour Cream potato chips, all Frito-Lay food products. What did he allege with these? This case was dismissed with prejudice. I don't know. Labeling stuff. Frito-Lay pretzels, Lay's potato chips, Fritos, and other Frito-Lay snacks. Frito-Lay all-natural bean dip, salt and vinegar potato chips.
Oh my God.
He's got a lot.
I understand that salt and vinegar potato chips may not have as much salt and as much vinegar as they say. Maybe they don't even have vinegar. Oh my. That's a bit pearl clutching.
Well, there you go, Ingo. That's legal news.
Well, it's embarrassing for my profession. Just embarrassing.
You ready for Taste of the Keys?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready for Taste of the Keys, but go ahead. I don't think I can be ready.
Speaking of snack foods, Man arrested for trying to steal food truck.
See, this is good. Dream big, dude. Dream big.
A 42-year-old Mountain View, Arkansas man was arrested Monday for attempting to steal a Key Largo food truck. Stephen Wayne McClellan was charged with attempted grand theft of a motor vehicle, possession of amphetamine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm shocked that meth is involved in this
I
case.
bet the meth was in him. That's the possession.
The sheriff's office responded to a parking lot in the 10,100 block of Overseas Highway at approximately 6 a.m. Witnesses reported seeing a man acting erratically while driving around a food truck. Witnesses stated it looked like he was trying to steal the food truck.
But he was driving around it in like a circle.
Yeah, when deputies arrived, the suspect, identified as McClelland, was backing his vehicle up to the food truck. He admitted he was attempting to steal the food truck. Ingo, what day is it?
It was not Shut the Fuck Up Friday.
It sure as fuck was. Every day is Shut the Fuck Up Friday.
You know what they would have had on him if he hadn't admitted? Nothing.
Yep.
Backing
he was just backing up to the truck.
Is not a crime. Admitting you're going to steal a food truck, actually also not a... He hasn't done anything, but, now they can
He's charged with attempted grand theft because he's like, I am attempting to grand thieve right now.
Yeah, and before he explained that to the cops, they really had nothing.
A glass pipe with a small amount of amphetamine was found in his possession. He was taken to jail.
Yeah, they overcharge him, and then he'll plead to something lesser, and it's all the system is. I just wonder what his next plan was. Like,
guys,
was it profits?
I mean, it was probably have a snack.
But he was gonna tow it away. I think
and then he's like, "There's so many snacks in here.
I'm gonna make food for myself. It's a food truck. I make food. I'm gonna eat food."
I think he just was going to have the food. He wasn't going to make it. He just assumed that it's already in there made and it just comes out.
Well, he's going to be disappointed when it's got a bunch of frozen brown meat in it.
Well, so 2 lessons from this is 1, don't try to steal food trucks, and 2, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. I mean, it may not make as good a story, but the police report that says he was illegally backing up in a parking lot and also had meth on him is less interesting. You won't be the main character on Twitter if that happens. Now
you're not going to jail for long if you're backing up erratically.
No, but if you're telling the cops about your grand plans to commit crimes, they're going to try to get you. Yeah.
Man arrested for fleeing. We have a second taste of the keys.
Like a flea circus?
No. He wasn't a flea. He was fleeing.
Oh, okay. Got it.
A 38-year-old Ocala, Florida man on a stand-up electric scooter was arrested Wednesday after fleeing from deputies and then jumping in the water. Jose Jr.
Wait, this is one of those Lime scooters, those like boards with the 2 little wheels on each end? Like
yes. I mean, I don't know that it's Lion brand, but yeah, a scooter like that.
It's not a Vespa scooter. Yeah.
No. A stand-on scooter.
Okay.
Jose Jr. Vigil was charged with fleeing and eluding, resisting arrest, possession of marijuana, and possession of drug paraphernalia. He crossed US 1 on Stock Island at approximately 2:47 a.m. on a scooter with no lights. Deputies attempted to stop him as he traveled south towards Key West on the sidewalk. Yeah. He refused to stop for deputies and continued to drive to a hotel near the entrance of Key West where he fled on foot. So you go over the Cow Key Bridge, you guys, and then there's like a stoplight there. So you go over the Cow Key Bridge and then you're on Key West, the island, and there's a stoplight right there. But just before the stoplight, you can turn into, I don't know what it is, the Hilton Hyatt. There's some hotel right there, and that's where he went.
Yeah. Suites, garden suites. Yeah.
Deputies attempted to shock him with a taser, but were not successful. And I just want to add that fleeing from a deputy on scooters, I don't think in any circumstances justifies tasing. You could just let him go away.
Yeah, they shouldn't have those toys if they don't know when to use them.
They attempted, or how, because they were not successful in tasing him. So
good job, dude. Avoiding tasing. I got kudos.
He then jumped into the water and refused to come out.
See, this is where he should have swam away. He might have had a shot if he just swum.
A responding Key
West for Remy.
A responding Key West police officer convinced him to just get out of the water.
And that's good. That's good. Sort of negotiation tactics. I gotta say.
A small amount of marijuana and multiple plastic baggies were found in his possession. He was taken to jail. His bail, I looked this up in another article, his bail is $40,000.
That seems really
Ridiculous.
unjustified for what? Having marijuana probably in him, and some baggies on him, and riding a scooter recklessly, crossing the street improperly. This sounds a little shady, a little overly enthusiastic by the cops.
Yeah.
He didn't hurt anyone. He didn't steal anything. He did not damage any property.
No.
Um,
Doesn't deserve to be tased for that, bro.
He doesn't deserve to be chased and tased and have to post $40,000 bail. I mean, the guy's going to stay in jail till he has a hearing.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's disappointing. This sounds like the kind of police activity you'd see in big cities instead of little keys here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Well, there you go. Those are my stories. Ingo, do you have German word of the week?
I do. It's apropos of nothing. Unrelated to everything. I wish I could be topical and have some, World Cup related sad word about failing, but I don't have any.
What's the German word for loser? What's a German word for not advancing to the knockout round?
Usually it was Americans, but it's a topsy-turvy world this year. Usually it was like, well, at least we're better than the Americans, but not this year.
No.
So go USA. I'm using the blue passport now. The German word of the week was suggested by a friend of the pod, friend of the squad and the pod, Zahnstocher, which means tooth poker, which means toothpick. But to stochern is when you like poking in a fire, like poking the ashes, you're stochering in the
like stoking. Stoking would be the English
kind
word.
of, yeah, like poking, stoking. But Zahnstocher is the word, and it's not slang right? That is the word for a toothpick, where you're poking around in your teeth with a little.
That's a good word.
Zahnstocher. Yeah.
Oh, I hear Remy licking your face.
That's Remy, because he hasn't had dinner yet. He's still waiting for his real dinner. He had the fake. He's like, that was fake. That was just broccoli. Yes, that's how we play it. That's how we play, Remy.
Yeah.
That's how we play. Are we on ramblings? Do we have ramblings? Did you have ramblings?
I did my ramblings, but now it's Ingo Corner, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, here's a little story. Are you ready for a little story?
I'm ready.
All right.
Hit me.
You don't even know this story yet.
No.
You know how we had that kneeling chair?
Yes, it was a chair with you'd put your
back.
knees on it, no back, and then like a little platform for your butt. Very popular among hackers in the 90s.
It's supposed to be good for your core, I thought. Yes, because I lived through the 90s. I was not a hacker, but this thing was one of the early. Now you have standing desks, and there may actually be some science behind all this stuff. But back then, it's just like this thing. You rest your shins on the bottom part, and then you kind of suspend your butt, and your back is unsupported, so it's supposed to keep all the core engaged. I tried it. I really wanted it to work. I tried it. It did not work. I did not like it.
No.
It fit me that well, and I just ended up slouching just in a slightly different way. So I don't think my core got engaged. So you were like, all right, fine. We don't need it then. If you don't want it, I don't want it. We don't need it. So you put it at the curb, as one does, because some people like to pick up stuff. And
everything I put at the curb gets gleefully taken by somebody.
Yeah.
And I think it's great.
I have some insight into that, perhaps. Our trash could be someone's treasure, because it was in good shape. It wasn't bad. It was out there, not during any storms or anything, so it wasn't, but it disappeared. We're like, oh great, whatever. Someone is now trying to improve their posture with the seat. Well, I was out there the other day because Remy was barking at the gate, and our wonderful neighbor that we refer to a little disrespectfully as Crazy Lady.
Don't call her wonderful.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing good about that lady.
No.
I mean, she could be worse. She's been nice to us, but she
bikes up in her bike. She sold her car or gave away her car. And she goes, hey, that chair, does that work? I was like, oh, no. I said, what? and she goes, the one you had out here, does it work? Because I got it, and I want to, I set up my office, and it's like she doesn't have an office. She has like the dry part of her house that she like works on her lawsuits against the state of Florida on,
Well, that's exactly what she does there.
and
Yeah.
our dogs, and us.
Yeah.
So she is taking all our stuff, Jen.
Oh, I know. She's got an old desk of mine up there too. She tells me every time she takes something.
Yeah, well, she told us that, and she's like, "Does it work?" I said, "Well, I
It's
mean,
a chair.
it's
I mean,
what it does. It doesn't have a back because it's not supposed to. It's in the shape that it's supposed to be in, but it sucks." They're like, "Well, I just want to know because I want to set up this thing. And how's the big white dog? How's that beach dog? I love him." And she means Brody. She loves. So I mean, redeeming feature quality is she loves Brody. So that's good. But so she's taking our stuff, Jen.
Ingo, we've talked about this because sometimes I'm like, listen, I'm not going to put this thing out here because then Crazy Lady's going to take it, and it
She's
just
gonna take it.
it's not. I don't mind her taking our stuff, but it just sometimes gets complicated. She's got an old bed frame of ours that I had to help her
Well,
carry over there.
yeah, I just feel like if it
Yeah,
breaks, come over here and be like, "Yeah, your bread broke. Hey, your carrot's
absolutely.
crap." Like, yeah, I don't want strings attached. I want to give it away. No, I never deal with it again.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't want to
no, I know. She's got a lot of our old stuff over there.
I remember when she wasn't here and we put our like patio furniture out and the UPS guy took it and he was super happy.
It was
Like that
great.
was good. That was a good engagement because he's not coming back to bitch at us for like it rusting.
No, his.
No.
I mean, it was like it needed some work, and he's like, he told me later, he's like, oh yeah, my wife like sanded it all down, and she got like new cushions for it, and it's great. Like, thanks so much. It was nice.
And we were like, this is a good situation. And then she came moving back in, and now it's been like everything just ends up over there in a big pile of wet, gooey wood. So there you go. That's my little rambling story of how this having weird neighbors makes it much harder to be normal.
My assumption when we put that chair out there is that she was going to take it, and I was
Well,
correct.
you were right that she took it, and you were right that she made sure that we knew she took it.
Yep.
Both things seem to be important to her.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anything else for Ingo Corner?
Ingo Corner.
We're in
Yes.
Ingo
Are we in
Corner.
Ingo Corner now?
Yeah. We did talk about this before the Crazy Lady story.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay.
I just want to make that this is every lawyer gets up in front of a judge and says, "Just briefly, Your Honor," and then goes on.
Yeah.
So I think I just want to make a comment as kind of my problem, my trigger there, where like I'm going to be talking for like a while. I'm not really, but I'm sad about Nacho and Cheddar.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
sad.
thought you were going to talk about lawyers, and I was like, I mean,
No,
you can talk about whatever you want, but that's a real departure.
just verbal texts that don't mean what they mean. That
Okay.
don't mean what I think they mean. But I'm sad about not that not working out.
Yeah, me too.
But we really, we have always said we will foster dogs who are dead end dogs and no one else wants, and we will sort of do the best for them that we can, right? And we had a long run of fosters that we didn't adopt because
Many.
we found like the perfect situation for them, and the situation here wasn't great for them.
Yeah.
And then we had a run of dogs where it was just like either nobody else wanted them because they were so broken, and so we sort of adopted them by default, or they just fit in really well,
Yeah.
right? And some combination of that. But it was a weird, almost unbalanced run too because we weren't really adopting out during the pandemic either.
True. Though I wanted to keep all those dogs. You're kidding? Vodes, the
really-
best.
Yeah. Big picture, this is actually kind of nothing unusual. It just happens to be two dogs where the situation for them would be better somewhere else. And for various reasons. Neither Nacho nor Cheddar are bad dogs at all. They're great dogs. And deserve the best situation they can. And it wasn't going to really happen here because stress and they weren't going to get enough attention, and various reasons. But I'm trying to remind myself that this adopting them out is normal, and it's actually more representative of what we've been doing for the past few years than just keeping all comers, right?
That's true. Yeah.
And it doesn't mean we will not foster and adopt in the future either. It's not a failure. It's just kind of sad. I'll miss those guys.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Though the household is clearly functioning better without.
Oh
Nacho.
yeah.
And I think Nacho's happier too. I mean, not that he
didn't love us, but it was just like, get out. Typing, get out, get out, get out. Like just pages of it. It was crazy. It was a very The Shining like activity. Yeah.
That is crazy, man.
I mean, she's clearly ready to be the only dog again.
Bang.
So that's all I had. I'm just putting it in perspective because I do feel bad that it was these two dogs in close succession that we're adopting out, or that we're not going to keep fostering or adopting. But it is normal, and especially it's best for them.
Yeah, for sure.
They're going to thrive somewhere else, and it's not fair to the other dogs. I mean, even Guac gets kind of jealous and sad if we spend too much time with every other dog and not him. So our gang will be happier if we keep the core group together.
I had a phone call with Michael, the trainer, today.
Yeah.
Not about any of our dogs, though. My therapist's dog is going to spend 2 weeks doing board and train with Michael, the trainer, starting on Saturday. Like I referred to him. I was like, Michael, you're training my therapist dog, and he's like, and I was like, said the dog's name, and he's like, that's your therapist, and I was like, yeah, I know, I wouldn't tell you, but yes, I'm like, I sent him to you because he's like, my dog got a bad report card. Who's your trainer again? So,
bad report card in doggy daycare, right?
Yeah. So anyway, I wasn't talking to him about my therapist dog either, which is none of my business. But I was talking to him about other stuff, and he was asking how Nacho was doing in his new home because he knows the whole cycle. And I was like, yeah, he's really happy. He gets along with everybody. There's no tension. Like, he definitely is thriving more in in that house than in ours. And Michael was great, and he's just like, you did so much. It's great that he was trained. He's like, Guac is a needy and active dog, and it's really hard to have more than one dog like that. And man, did Nacho have a lot of energy, kind of just like, yeah, it's great that you tried, but like, it would be really hard to have two dogs like that. And, not to mention Remy in the mix, because Michael's trained all of them.
Yeah. Guac and Nacho really had a thing going where they would encourage each other, kind of.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Rile each other up and swim around, with each other. And it was fine. It tired them out, but it was exhausting for the environment.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. If they were like the only two dogs, you'd just be like, all right, well, we got two crazy dogs.
Right.
But we're trying to keep people from getting stomped on and keep 4 other dogs happy. And
then Hopper's unhappy because she's not in the water. And it was a lot of unhappiness generated. That doesn't have to be. I mean, not
that's right.
Paradise right now, and Cheddar will find his paradise too.
Totally.
Yeah.
Anything else for Ingo Corner?
Nope. That's it.
All right, everyone. Well, Hops has to go to the vet anyway. Her appointment's in like half an hour.
Yeah, come on, Limpy. Oh, you're just slower hopping.
Thanks everybody for listening. Slava Ukraini. And don't bite anyone unless they ask you to.